So Kim, you think you got what it takes to be a lawyer, huh? Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Come on in, get comfortable. So if you guys don't know me, I'm Kimmer, and most of you who are on this video will know that I'm a lawyer. I'm a solicitor and I practice in the UK. Those of you watching this, most of you will know as well that Kim Kardashian is currently studying towards the bar exam so she could become a lawyer as well. So, what is up with that? So obviously Kim Kardashian consults me about most decisions that she makes and highly values my opinion, so I thought what better than making a video so everyone will know where I stand on this. I'm just kidding, she literally has no idea who I am. So the way that she's becoming a lawyer, which has been somewhat controversial, is that she's doing a 2 or 3 year apprenticeship. I think it's a 3-year apprenticeship with lawyers, and at the end of that she's studying as she does the apprenticeship, and at the end of that she will sit the bar and hopefully pass and become a lawyer. I think it's brilliant. I honestly think it's great, and I think more power to her. Let me just tell you why I think that. I think there's one crucial thing underpinning all of this for me. Whether people like it or not, a lot of young people, young girls especially, and young women watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians and they know who Kim Kardashian is. I think a lot of people who would have watched her and who have watched her, one thing they take issue with is that maybe she shows a particular way to succeed, and that way isn't a way that a lot of people agree with. The reality is people watch her, a lot of young girls watch her, and subconsciously, and I think her now using her fame and using her clout and using her reputation for something good and something worthwhile will inspire a lot of younger girls to go into law. I mean, it's just the way it works. She's making law cool. So if you follow me on social media, you will know that I actually was inspired. I always wanted to be a lawyer. I actually wanted to be a lawyer for quite a while. But I was definitely really inspired when I watched the Legally Blonde film. The Legally Blonde film essentially showcased the story of a girl who had been essentially pigeonholed by her peers. And I related to that so much. I guess because she looked a certain way, she liked to have fun, liked makeup, liked to dress up. All of a sudden, within this person's brain, this individual no longer meets the definition or meets the criteria for someone who is smart. And I think that's definitely been the case with Kim Kardashian. She has created an image of herself in the media, so everyone has a certain perception of her, and it just doesn't fit. Being a lawyer doesn't fit that framework that she's constructed. I think if she's doing something, she already has the fame, she already has the clout, so she's not becoming a lawyer to make money, she's not doing it for more fame. I mean, if she was, she wouldn't be entering into criminal law, she'd be going into entertainment law or corporate law, something that pays and something that maybe brings more fame with it. But she's already done all of that. She's already got all of that. So at this point, I think it's safe to assume that she's entering into it so she can help people. So I've absolutely had my own personal experience with this. I remember actually when I was in school, I loved to have fun. My personality, if you guys know me, you know that I'm silly, I'm fun, I really don't take myself seriously at all. And I think because of that, a lot of my classmates naturally concluded that I must be an idiot. But yeah, I remember when we were applying for universities and everyone wanted to go to LSE, and I got in. I was really happy. Honestly, I expected to get in, if I'm being really honest. I had the grades for it. I knew my personal statement was bomb. So it didn't come as a shock to me. I really remember one of the guys in my class looked at me like in complete shock when he found out that I got into LSE, and he was like, out of everyone that applied to LSE, you got in. And I was like, yes, can you believe, like what? In short, I think it's great that Kim is using her influence and using her fame for something really, really positive, and for something that will affect a lot of change. So for any of you who are watching this, and if you're an aspiring lawyer, here are some of my top tips for becoming a lawyer. Number one, be really, really careful what you post on social media. You will have seen celebrities getting cancelled, getting fired from shows because of something that they posted on social media years ago. It really can come back to bite you in the butt. So do go through your social media, check what you've posted, scroll through Twitter. I advise this to anyone, whether you're trying to be a lawyer or not. Check your tweets, because you never know if you're going to be famous one day, or if you're going to be trying to get a job that requires someone to have outstanding character, like being a lawyer does. And I know some people will be really laugh at this bit, because you see all these movies about corrupt lawyers. But in reality, most lawyers are upstanding citizens. So do check your social media and be careful of what you post in future. Number two, network like crazy. I think a lot of people struggle. It's the same struggle that I had. When you're trying to get into law, it can be difficult if you don't know anyone in the industry, which is where I come in. I'm doing a whole bunch of videos about how to be a lawyer, top tips, the route that I went down, what you can do to get into the legal field. Obviously, the systems in the UK and the US are quite different, and then there'll be thousands around the world. But really do network, and if you don't know a lawyer, find a lawyer. It's easier than you think. On LinkedIn, I would literally search for lawyers who are junior, who've just started, and message them and ask for coffee. Maybe ask for a quick 10-minute chat. All you need is 10 minutes. And have your questions prepared in advance. Remember that compliments do work. So if you say, hey, I see that you're a trainee at this incredible law firm, that's really inspiring. I would love to work there one day, and kind of follow in your footsteps in relation to the path that you're taking career-wise. That works. If there are any organizations that are helping students get into the legal field, I know a number of charities that do this in the UK. There are things like Rare Recruitment and SEO and the Bright Network. There are loads of different networks that help you get experience while you're studying, so that you can be in a better position once you do come to studying, so that you know more and that you perform even better in interviews. So get linked up, find out where these organizations are, sign up to them. They'll train you, they'll give you information that you don't have. If you don't know something, find the people who know. Number three is don't be scared. Don't be scared of failing. Don't be scared of other people's opinions of you, of going into the law. People might have you down as the student who can't be a lawyer, or the one who's going to fail. It actually doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what other people's opinions of you are. Number four, be yourself. This can be really hard to do, like this video, like I've been talking about in this video. This can be really hard to do if you don't meet the stereotype of a lawyer. In the UK particularly, law firms can be quite traditional. They can have a quote-unquote type. In fact, some law firms, a lot of employers talk about a fit. They give you a job based on whether you're a good fit. But one thing is absolutely be yourself. I remember, like, when I was in London and I was studying and trying to get legal experience, I noticed that no one in law firms had regional accents. And so I'm from Wales. I grew up in the valleys of South Wales, in Pontypridd to be exact. Like, I never really heard it, but I had a Welsh accent. Like, I had a little bit of a Welsh accent. And I think subconsciously, because I realized that no one I had met in law firms who had regional accents, I subconsciously muted my accent a little bit and played it down to the point where people can't really hear it that much anymore. So don't do that. Don't change yourself. One piece of advice that I got that was brilliant was to be the best version of yourself. There is only one thing in this world that you are guaranteed to be the world's greatest at, and that is being yourself. No one can do you like you can do you. No one can bring that unique contribution like you can. Do not, I repeat, do not deny every one of that. Another thing I'll say is don't be disheartened by rejections. This is the last thing that I'll say. I'll have way more videos on this topic, but don't be disheartened by rejections as you set out on your journey. Everyone gets rejections. I went to one of the best law schools. I got a ton of rejections. I have friends who went to Oxford, Cambridge, LSE, UCL, who all got tons of rejections. There are lots of law firms. If you don't get in somewhere, assess what you did and move on and apply to the next place. One amazing piece of advice that my dad gave me was Isaac in the Bible. I've told this piece of advice a million times and I always get this dude's name wrong. I think it was Isaac in the Bible, correct me if I'm wrong below. But Isaac in the Bible was digging for water. So he dug somewhere and he didn't find water. And so he dug somewhere else and he found water. It is the most simple thing, but it completely just changed my perspective. If you're not having success, if you haven't had success at a law firm, it is not that deep. It is not that big of a deal. Apply to the next one. One big tip for interviews, actually 2 big tips for interviews, is number 1, be enthusiastic. Enthusiasm and the right attitude can cover a multitude of sins. It can really make up for your inexperience, and at that point you will be inexperienced. You won't know everything going into it, but an attitude to learn, being keen to get stuck in, volunteering to help with things, wanting to get experience on a wide variety of things, asking questions, being inquisitive. Attitude really is king. Another big tip for interviews is do your research. Don't go there. It might be hard to differentiate between different law firms, especially full service law firms. Do your research, find really unique points about that law firm, tie it back to something unique about you and present that in the interview. So I would find the most random, unique facts and I would say them down to, if I was talking about a number, for example, the value in numbers of the pro bono work that they did in a certain financial year, I'd say it to the dot, to the penny. You did £536,236 and 56 pence worth of pro bono work, and then you tie that to yourself, saying how you in university were part of this society that did this kind of charitable or pro bono work. And every unique fact that the law firm has, tie it back to something unique about you, but really show that you've done your research by giving some really obscure things that the person interviewing you will probably not know they had. Actually, in one of the interviews, in an interview that I did, I was told that I knew way more about the law firm than most of their associates in that law firm. Say you have 1,216 employees operating out of the UAE. In fact, I traveled to the UAE as part of my experience. Be specific and do your research. Anyway, that's it from me. Let me know below what you think about Kim becoming a lawyer and if you have any tips to add about becoming a lawyer. Subscribe if you haven't. I'm gonna have so many more videos coming up soon. So I'll see you guys soon. Bye.